PBNZ Sports Chaos. And look who we got. PB and a special guest. Freddie Football is with us this week. Oh, my God. Oh, gentlemen, before we get into this week and the coaching hires, last weekend, what was your biggest takeaway from the games last weekend and what happened? Freddie, I'll start with you.
I think definitely the Redskins were the Commanders, sorry, were
I can't
eye-opener.
get over it either. I'm sorry. I'm so with you.
For sure. And, it makes me wonder a little bit about Goff. I know Goff's been great all year, but, he looked his feet were a little happy in the pocket when he got some pressure. And, that was my takeaway. How great Jaden Daniels and the Commanders played last week. That was a big takeaway for me.
Your thoughts on Goff is reminiscent of the week before about Donald, right? Donald, same thing.
Yes.
MVP year, and all of a sudden he like Cinderella. The clock struck midnight, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. PB, what do you think last weekend?
I agree with the cream tends to rise to the top, right? And when you get into the playoffs, there's the same guys that are known that can go in and play under pressure. And we know the opposite of that is Lamar Jackson. He falls on his face every year in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And he just showed us more of the same. And all those people who thought Baltimore was going to go into Buffalo and win, and Josh Allen's a beast, and Lamar isn't a primetime player when it comes to the playoffs. So
did Lamar drop the 2-point conversion?
He didn't drop it, but you know what? He could have thrown the ball earlier. That Mark Andrews was wide open, and he waited too long to throw that pass. So was it a catchable ball?
Too late? I think it could have been higher, maybe. That's all I'm going to say. I don't know if it could have been earlier, but it could have been higher. That's all I'm going to say on that. So I thought Lamar played fantastic in that game. I thought they didn't give Derrick Henry the touches enough, right? Derrick Henry is blowing up that Buffalo Bill team. You're going to give Derrick Henry the ball 25 times a game like that. So that's my only thing I'll say about that game.
I don't think.
By the way, KC got the benefit of the refereeing all day long. That hit on Will Anderson for the penalty. Are you shit? Are you kidding me? Come on.
Yeah. No, even Troy Aikman was beside himself after that call. I'll tell you, though, you say Lamar had a great game. He threw a pick. He lost a fumble.
I didn't say he had a bad game. I just said he didn't have a bad game.
Okay. All right.
By the way, Josh only threw for 87 yards in the game.
I know. That just goes.
So there you go. It was a defensive game, and you had to have least turnovers. And Buffalo had least turnovers, right?
Right. And he ran for 2 touchdowns. So
yes, yeah. All right, let's talk about before we get into this week's games, coaching hires, because I gotta put my glasses on. A couple of coaching hires. First of all, I love the Dallas Cowboys. Brian Schottenmeyer, offensive coordinator, was hired as the HC. I'm okay with that, but he's not a big splash like you would think from Dallas. What do you guys think?
I'll go first this one. I think they should have gotten away from an internal hire. I think they need to change the culture and the blood of that organization, and you don't do that by hiring internally. They should have gone externally and looked at other options. I don't think that's going to make a difference for the Cowboys. Matter of fact, they could take a step backwards next year, in my opinion.
It's only there 2 years, so I don't know if he's really an internal guy at the end of the day. But I agree, they need to do something else, maybe. But I'm okay with that hire.
And now look at that division too, with the Commanders and the way that they've been playing. Eagles. And if the Giants and with the Eagles, and if the Giants can go out and get themselves a quarterback, we saw what Malik Nabers is the real deal. He could be a stud wide receiver 1 in this league for years to come. If he gets the right quarterback, that team could also compete. So they're in a division that they can't just kind of skate by like an Atlanta or a New Orleans or a Tampa every year, winning 9 or 10 games. You got to win 12, 13, 14 games to win that division.
And I don't think they're going to change the culture with Jerry Jones there.
That's you're right on the money. Jerry Jones cannot be in charge of football operations, right?
Yeah.
You're going to have a real GM at the end of the day. Yeah. By the way, the one thing we didn't talk about last week, Detroit Lions got upset by the Commanders at home, and both of their coordinators took off right away. Is that an indictment on the head coach?
The same thing happened to Belichick when Romeo Crennel and
Josh
Charlie Weiss.
McDaniels.
Yeah, I get it.
And Charlie Weiss.
I get it.
Yeah, yeah.
But Belichick was an established head coach. Dan Campbell is not.
That's true.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, he seems like a good person in the locker room. He seems like someone people want to be around. Not like someone people.
That. We've talked about this many times, PB.
Yeah.
But when we first got hired, you and I both said the same thing. WTF? This guy's not a head coach.
I think the coordinators are super important, though. Like, you lose a both coordinators like that, who, Detroit's defense was great, their offense was obviously great, and now all of a sudden, what do you do? Like, is it going to be, next man up? Is it going to continue? Who knows?
Tough division too. Tough division, right? And I'm sure we're going to be talking about the Bears here because we know it's the Vikings, we know it's the Packers, and we know it's the Lions. And the Bears going to compete in that division next year.
Yeah.
What we'll talk about real quick is Liam Cohen, Tampa Bay offensive coordinator, now is going to be the head coach of the Jags. I guess a lot of arguments about that whole thing. By the way, he's a Rhode Island guy, so all you guys, we're going to be happy about that, right? And with the UMass Amherst, PB, you're wearing a UMass Amherst sweatshirt right now, so here we go. So what do you think about Liam Cohen being the head coach of the Jags?
Again, another organization that needs a cultural change, and I think that is a good hire because they're going external. They're kind of changing up the blood a little bit. You got young talent there. I love Brian Thomas Jr. in that organization. We saw Tank Bisbee kind of have flashes of brilliance. Looks like him and ETN could be a nice compliment there. Their defense can step up when needed as well. So I like the pieces that they have, and if he can coach them up, that's a division that they can go after and win, I think.
Well, and look at back to the Commanders again. They changed their whole culture when they got rid of the last owner. They got the new owner. They brought in the new coach, which who used to coach the Atlanta, right? Yeah. So they changed their culture and they turned their season around. So some teams got to just start over and go from scratch.
The guy that can fix Trevor, because I happen to personally love Trevor Lawrence. I mean, I've seen him a bunch of times actually in person playing in college. I think he can fix him, so we'll see.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about this week's playoffs. We're going to start with the Philly game. Philly goes against Washington. By the way, the Beast of the East, NFC East is back. It's the best division of football. But anyways, that's my opinion. Philadelphia, what do they have to do to win? Freddie, I'll start with you.
Well, my big thing right now is Jalen Hurts. Is he hurt? He's going to be wearing a knee brace. If they can run the RPO with him being healthy, they have a really good chance. If not, and if he can't keep the ball and run effectively because of his knee, and he's limited to just throwing passes, I think they're going to be in trouble. So that's my take on it.
That's me. PB.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, what I've seen, Washington is all of a sudden this like dynamic, explosive offense that can like score at will. I just feel like this team is a brand new team in the NFL for the future years to come. And Jaden Daniels is a big part of that, but he's making other guys look really good. Diami Brown, who's been in the league now for 3 years, all of a sudden he's becoming a great receiver. Zacchaeus, all of a sudden he's making guys look good. Eckler's back. Brian Robinson Jr. I mean, they can score, and let's not forget
McLaurin fan, but he's made Terry McLaurin look like great.
And McLaurin, right? And McLaurin, but he was a legit like wide receiver one type guy. He was an alpha in a way, but he's bringing that whole team up. So because of that, Philadelphia needs to control the clock, run the football, give it to Saquon, keep the Commanders off the field. That's the key for Philly winning the game. I don't think their defense, as good as it is, can handle what we saw in the last game.
Yeah.
Washington turned the ball over 5 times and won.
Yeah.
And won.
Yeah.
I mean, they can't.
That does not normally happen in the playoffs, right?
Right. So that's the recipe. It's time possession, running the football, get Saquon heavily involved, which I expect. Yeah.
PB, who's your X factor in this game?
On either side or just on the Philly side?
On the Philly side. We'll get to Washington in a minute.
X factor for me, I'm going to go Devontae Smith. I think he needs to get involved, and he can't catch full balls for 40 yards. He's got to go out and have a game. 8 balls, 100+ yards, touchdown kind of game. Because I think AJ Brown might get doubled more often, and that he'll be the guy that Yep.
I
Freddie,
think
what
it's
do you
gonna,
think? Who's your X factor?
I think it's either going to be someone like Goddard or Gainwell, who, if Hurts can't run as much and he has to check the ball down, he's going to need guys that can get open. Goddard and Gainwell seem to be able to do that. So
Well, my
that's my
thunder. I got
guess.
guarded. Guarded has to be the guy because he's going to be the guy because Hurts is injured. He has to get rid of the ball fast. The tight
Exactly.
end is always open. So
Yep.
I'm with you. All right. On the other side, the Commanders. PBS. I'm with you. What are the Commanders? How do they win this game?
Yeah, so I'm wondering if the Commanders can afford to get in a shootout. That's my can they get in a shootout? And I think the answer normally would be
I think the Commanders win the shootout. I think Philly has to keep the game control. But go ahead.
yeah, I think Commanders can win. But the only thing that makes me nervous is it's a shootout for a rookie quarterback in the playoffs. So that might not be what you want. So I'm going to go on the defensive side of the ball. I think they need to really just contain Barkley because it sounds like they might not have to worry about Hurts. If he's wearing a knee brace, he's probably not going to be running that much. So just get that run stopped. You got to get some 3-and-outs. There's got to be at least, 1 3-and-out per quarter, I would say, on defense. And I think you can win if you can do that. And of course, not turn the ball over.
What do you think, Freddie?
I think Robinson in the back, when they run the RPO, if Robinson gets some yards, then Daniels is going to be able to get some yards if he keeps it. So if they stuff Robinson and they start keying on Daniels and making him panic, to Paul's point, if it becomes a shootout and Daniel starts throwing some turnovers, not going to be a good thing. So
Exactly. By the way, who's your X factor?
my X factor would probably be Robinson, I would say.
Okay. PB,
Yeah.
who's yours?
I'm going to go with the other back. I'm going to go with Austin Eckler.
There you go.
I think he's going to catch some balls on the backfield. He's going to be that, maybe that last option, a couple dumps off. He can catch 5 or 6 balls and for 50 or 60 yards and also rush for 50 or 60 yards, maybe get a touchdown. I think when it comes to playoffs, the veterans tend to step up, and he's going to be a good veteran to step up in this game. So I'm going to go Austin Eckler.
And don't forget about Ertz either.
Yeah.
I got a guy. Yeah, you just mentioned it. He played for Philly last year. Zach Ertz, right?
Yeah. Yep.
That's my X factor. If Zach Ertz goes on a revenge tour, that's the guy, right? Absolutely.
Right. You got the tight ends as your X factors.
Yes, they are. Oh, yeah, they have to be. All right, KC Buffalo. You ready to go for this one? Let's start with Buffalo. Go ahead. PB, I'll let you go first. How do they win this game?
They just keep playing Buffalo football. I mean, just don't get off your game plan. Don't panic because it's Kansas City. Just do what you've been doing. Throw the ball, run the ball, let Josh Allen run the ball, give James Cook the ball. Just mix up the offense. Just play Buffalo football and they'll win.
What do you say, Freddie?
I think when Josh Allen improvises this year, he's been able to do a great job of not turning the ball over, unlike previous years. If he continues to do that, I think they're going to have a really good chance of winning this game.
I think it's a turnover game. If Buffalo doesn't turn it over, they have a shot, right? All right. The other side, KC. What do you think, people?
I think KC needs to get Josh Allen off his game. We've seen these periods of time in a regular season where Josh Allen just doesn't show up and he just has a horrible game. He does it like every maybe 7, 8, 9 games. Josh Allen just lays an egg and you're like, who is this guy? And Kansas City's defense is going to be the defense that can do that to him. They have a great defense. Their offense is not going to win the game. Kansas City's defense is what's going to win them the game potentially. So the key is containing Josh Allen, getting him off his game, rush him, and just don't let him get the ball down, throw the ball down the field.
Who's your X factor for Buffalo?
Wait, we go. Okay, I thought we were going to go keys to win for Buffalo first. Or you want my X factor right now? My X factor is going to be Josh Allen. I know it sounds obvious, but he's the guy who has to. I think he still needs to be able to run the ball for 50 yards and 1 touchdown at least. And if he can't do that, then it's going to be a tough day.
Yeah, I think my X factor. Buffalo's got a small team, they kept harping on that last week against Baltimore.
Yes.
So if they can somewhat keep the line of scrimmage under control and not let Kansas City run the ball too much, I think they'll they'll be in good shape to keep the game close. And without the turnovers, I think that'll put them in a good shape, a chance to win.
There is Matt Milano, linebacker for the Bills.
Okay.
If
There you
Matt
go.
has a huge game, the BC kid playing pass defense and rushing the passer, he's the X factor, in my opinion. All right, KC, real quick, PB, before we pick this game, what does KC have to do to win this game?
KC has to play the kind of defense like I was just talking about. One of the reasons why I was talking about Buffalo is Kansas City's defense needs to step up and win this game for them. They're not going to win the game on offense. They're going to win the game on defense, which means my X factor is going to be Chris Jones, because if they can put the pressure on Josh Allen, make him throw the ball, even if it's a half or a quarter second earlier than he normally would throw it, he can be thrown off his game. So Chris Jones is the X factor. The defense is the key to the win.
What do you say, Freddie?
Well, besides the folks in the black and white stripes, which we'll leave that for later, I think the X factor might be another receiver that Mahomes can rely on besides Kelsey. I think that's important. But if they can spread the ball around and have a couple more options when he's throwing the ball, I think that can keep Buffalo's defense on their heels a little bit. So
like a Xavier Worthy, or
like a Worthy,
Hopkins, maybe
Hopkins, or
I'm with
somebody
you.
like that.
If they take it, I'm with you, Freddie. If they the Bills take a page out of Belichick's playbook, you're going to double Kelsey all day long. Linebacker under, safety over. Somebody else has to beat you, right?
Yep.
It's got to be Xavier Worthy, in my opinion. Xavier Worthy has to show up at the end of the day, right?
Yep.
So that's my X factor. All right. Are you guys ready to pick these games?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, PB, let's start. I won't say Skins. I want to say Skins. Commanders, Philadelphia. What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, we picking straight up or with the points?
Yeah. Oh, if you want to give out a point spread as well, go ahead.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So I really think the Commanders can cover this. So 6 points is a lot for a team as hot as the Commanders are.
Totally agree. Totally agree.
I love the 6 points. Do I think they can win? I mean, money line right now, getting plus money for them straight up. I kind of like them to win too. But if I had to pick the winner, I think, yeah, you put the gun in my head, I think I gotta lean Philly. I'm gonna say Philly wins just barely, like on a last minute field goal or something like that. So I'm gonna pick Philly to win the game. I'm gonna pick the Commanders with the 6 points, but not gonna be surprised if the Commanders also win outright.
All right. Freddie, what do you think?
Yeah, very similar. Again, I think it depends really on how healthy Hurts is. If Hurts is healthy, I think they'll win the game, but it'll be a close game, and I think the Commanders will cover for sure.
Yes. This is the one weekend in a long time where weather is not a factor for any of these teams, because they all come from the Northeast or cold weather, right? At the end of the day. So weather's not an implement. I get the Phillies as well. I think the Eagles as well from Philadelphia winning the game. But PB, I don't think it comes down to the end of the game. I think they win earlier, and it's a 3-point game at the end of the day. Yes.
All right. So we all like the Commanders with the points. We all like the Eagles to win outright.
Yeah.
So all three of us are the same. All right.
Let's go to the game. All of us from Boston don't want to see, and we know the outcome probably, but maybe let me start with you, Freddie. What do you think is the outcome?
I like the Bills in this. I think it's the year of the Bills. I know the Bills already beat Kansas City earlier, and I was like, well, they're going to beat them twice in the same year. It's a different time of the year, and I just think Kansas City's offense is not doing very well statistically.
Agree.
And they've won a lot of games by very close margins, and Buffalo does not turn the ball over. That's the key. And if they don't turn the ball over and do what they've been doing all year, I think they'll win this game.
Yeah. So you got to win it outright, and they're getting 2 points. So obviously, and I'm right in the same boat. Yeah, I'm right in the same boat. I mean, that's why I said, what do they need to do to win? Just play Buffalo football. Don't turn the ball over and mix it up with the pass and the run. And normally I would say Buffalo went into Kansas City during the regular season and won. Is Andy Reid going to lose at home to the same team twice in 1 year? That part scares me.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm like, I want to err on the side of like the safe pick and just say the Chiefs are going to win this game. But I think, to Freddie's point, I think this is the year of the Bills. I really do. So I'm going to take the Bills with the points of 2 points, but I'm going to take them straight up to win as well.
PBNZ Golden Rule. Until the Chiefs get beat, we got to pick the Chiefs, right? And at this point, I do not want to pick the Chiefs, but there's no reason why I can pick the Bills at this point in time. Everything you guys say is correct, absolutely correct. But I can't. I hate the friggin' Chiefs. You know, and by the way, I have to give Andy Reid his due. He's a pretty good coach. He's a pretty.
Yeah, he is.
I did not want to give him his due. He's a damn good coach. But until the KC loses, I got to pick KC, unfortunately.
Okay.
All right.
All right, gentlemen, you're golfing tomorrow, right before you watch the games?
Yes.
Absolutely,
We got a 9:50 tee time. We play 18. We'll be home by about 2 o'clock. And then we got the games. All right.
All right.